Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
This guy started the 631-day NCAA investigation, but UNC football is left holding the bag. We've got the details.
And soon doing this could mean paying a fine in Chapel Hill.
It's the best time of year. March Madness is underway. But are the heels at full strength?
And most people keep their passwords private, but some couples are sharing them. Not always a good idea. I'm Kathleen Whitty.
I'm Preston Jones. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
The NCAA has finally handed down its decision and will be paying the price for those football infractions for some time.
But were the additional sanctions fair? Some people don't think so. Sports director Andy Reeves joins us live with the details. Andy.
Preston, it's finally over. 631 days after UNC first became aware of its NCAA violations, the Committee on Infractions has handed down penalties to the football program. UNC will serve a one-year postseason ban, lose 15 scholarships over the next 3 seasons, and will be on probation for the next 3 years. The university already imposed some sanctions on itself back in September, but the NCAA felt those didn't go far enough. Athletics Director Bubba Cunningham felt they could avoid additional penalties because of their cooperation with the NCAA investigation.
The committee talked about the cooperation of the institution, which I think is great, because that's what we pride ourselves on, is trying to do things the right way. Now, the severity of the mistakes that we made led to the penalties.
While UNC has decided not to appeal the NCAA's decision, former Athletics Director Dick Bedore says UNC's job is far from over.
This this book is not closed, because we've got to be ever diligent. We should never forget that this happened. We all have a responsibility to make it better.
Spring practice starts today, guys, and according to Bubba Cunningham, Coach Larry Fedora has been very positive about the sanctions and is just looking forward to the future of Carolina football.
But everyone will be paying attention to this still.
Absolutely.
All right, Andy, thank you for that. So what about the faculty? What do the people who lead this university from an academic standpoint think about the decision?
I was sorry to see them impose additional sanctions. I thought that we did a really good job of representing ourselves and punishing ourselves. So I thought it was a little bit unfair that they wanted to twist the dagger a little harder.
I've heard that they weren't very fair to some of the students and to some of the current faculty and staff that weren't involved at the time.
I think they got just about right.
No comment. I think they're pretty fair in general.
I think they are appropriate considering the amount of damage that was done to the university.
The bigger thing is that Carolina should have seen the bowl ban coming and sat out from Shreveport this year, and would have been a little bit better in terms of not getting not losing out, on Shreveport. They have a potential to have a bigger bowl this year, and instead they're going to miss out on that.
It's a very, very difficult situation, but the most important thing is that we have the ruling and we can move forward from here.
The town of Chapel Hill is thinking a lot about mobile phones these days. Officials are considering a ban on phone use while driving, and by the end of next month, you'll be able to use your phone to pay for downtown parking. We have 2 reports tonight. Amy Whitaker has the first.
UNC senior Emily Nickham is not only a student, but also a mentor and an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so I think a bunch of us are probably going to try and watch it at Joe's Joint.
She says talking on the phone in the car helps her keep up with her busy schedule.
If I'm on my way to do something with someone, I like to make sure our plans are okay, or call and ask where they're parking.
But if some town council members have their way, those calls could cost her. They're considering a ban on the use of cell phones and hands-free devices while driving. The punishment? A $25 fine. But town council member Gene Peace says this is a state issue, not one for the town.
How can you have cell phones being used on 15501 and then you turn into your neighborhood, which is your town-owned street, and it's illegal?
Peace also says he disagrees with the ban on hands-free devices.
But I'm not convinced the science has proven that hands-free is as dangerous as what they say being drunk driving.
Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand.
The The ordinance did not get enough votes to pass. The council will discuss this issue again March 26th. It could decide whether calls like the ones Nickham makes are dangerous enough to merit a new law. In Chapel Hill, I'm Mimi Whitaker, Carolina Week.
I'm Emma Whitman. Nobody likes hanging on to spare change, and not having enough at a meter can lead to a parking ticket. A soon-to-be-implemented pay-by-phone parking system could solve that.
You just call the number provided, enter your space number, your payment information, and the amount of time you think you'll need the space. If I can't make it back to the meter, I can just re-up with my cell phone.
Downtown parkers like Wayne Hoover like the idea.
And they're aware of the number to call and the process. It could be convenient to pay by phone.
But he has reservations.
Planning on replacing units such as these, I'd be against it.
Chapel Hill Parking Superintendent Brenda Jones.
If you desire to get out of your car and go walk over to the meter and use your credit card, you're still able to do that. It's working in conjunction with the meters. It's not replacing the meters at all.
There are uncertainties. How much will it cost, for example?
I don't know yet how this system will work. It may be that the customer ends up paying a fee for utilizing the system.
Estimates range from 25 cents to 35 cents per transaction, meaning every time the system is used. But we may save money on parking tickets.
The cool thing would be it might help you avoid a ticket because it will send you a text message when your space is about to expire.
But Jones says the system won't be around until the end of April, so for now, hang on to your spare change. I'm Emma Whitman, Carolina Week.
Last year, meter fees generated close to $300,000 in revenue for the town. That's 48% of revenue from on-street parking. However, ticket fines were 51% of revenue. Perhaps the new system will flip that. And next week, do you pay to park off campus? Well, a new town ordinance could make that harder. After complaints about student behavior from members of the North Side and Pine Knolls community, the town council voted to pass a zoning ordinance to calm some of the tensions there. Right now, the ordinance only includes the two neighborhoods, but soon it could take effect across Chapel Hill. Be sure to tune in next week to find out what the ordinance means and how it could affect you.
The officer who led the investigation into Eve Carson's murder is renewing his charges against the Chapel Hill Police Department. Lieutenant Robert Carden is 55 and has been with the department for 26 years. He's claiming to be a victim of ageism and harassment. He says, among other things, he was transferred to a new division as a way to force him to retire. A decision in the matter is up to the town manager. And U.S. News and World Report is ranking multiple UNC graduate programs among the top 25 in the new edition of America's Best Graduate Schools. The School of Medicine ranks second overall in the primary care program and 21st in the research program. Kenan Flagler Business School ties for 19th overall in top business programs, while accounting, executive MBA, and marketing are taking 10th, 11th, and 12th place respectively. The magazine also ranks the School of Pharmacy and Social Work in the top 10 of their categories and the School of Education and Law in the top 40. To see the complete list, visit our website, carolinaweek.org.
And UNC is once again being recognized for exceptional research. Margaret Shandor Miles of the School of Nursing is the recipient of the Leadership in Research Award given by the Southern Nursing Research Society. Miles developed tools used by researchers worldwide to measure sources of parental stress during their child's hospitalization. Dr. Miles has been with the School of Nursing since 1984. And with the economy in a slump the past few years, it's no surprise that Carolina has been seeing more and more applications for financial aid. But this year may be different. The Office of Scholarships and Student Aid is expecting to see only 130 more applicants than last year. This is after 3 years of increases of around 3,000 applications each year. Might sound like good news for Carolina students wanting a little support when paying their tuition, but thanks to more rounds of budget cuts, financial aid will still be stretched thin.
Some of you may have taken an ethics course with Professor Jan Boxell, or maybe you've seen her sitting front row at a women's basketball game. But you might not know that Boxell holds another important position here at UNC. Reporter Tyler Ford has more.
Jan Boxell has her hands full. Not only is she the director for the Parr Center for Ethics, a full-time professor, and a commentator to the women's basketball team, she's also the chair of the Faculty Council. That position is a full-time job.
As faculty chair, I actually am the representative of the faculty. There are about 3,600 faculty on campus, so I am their official representative. They have voted me to be their representative in every aspect.
Every aspect means that Boxell attends boards of trustees meetings, presentations with the chancellor and other UNC staff members, and speaks with the press as the voice of the faculty.
Basically, I bring to the faculty concerns, and I bring their concerns to the council meetings as well as to the chancellor, to the board, and to the provost.
Boxall was elected faculty chair last April and will hold the spot for 3 years. She says she was immediately thrown into the job, especially with all the fuss with the athletics department, but it is more fun than stressful.
Stressful, I haven't, only in that it's very time-consuming. It's been really enjoyable in many ways.
Winston Cavan is a journalism professor and member of the council. He says Boxall is an unsung hero.
Yes, she had been the vice chair, I think, for some time, and she stepped right into it without a blink. She's very personable, both with students. She may be serious, but she's very personable with students and fellow faculty. She gets us all rowing in the same direction.
And that's exactly Boxall's goal: unity.
We're not separate units. There's students, there's staff, there's faculty, there's athletics, there's arts and sciences. Recognize we're all in this together.
While Boxall's hands might be full, she says they're full of the right stuff to make this university one of the best in the world. In Chapel Hill, I'm Tyler Ford, Carolina Week.
All right, well, we all know social media is important to how we communicate today, but Kathleen, you're not sharing your passwords with your boyfriend.
You know, I don't think that's necessary, but reporter Beth Lawrence talked to a student who did. Take a look.
Junior Chloe Rocco thinks sharing a password is a normal step in a modern relationship.
I trusted him and it didn't seem odd to me.
And she isn't the only one. A recent study by the Pew Research Center shows that about 1 out of every 3 teenagers shares passwords to social media sites. The number shoots up to 50% if you only count older teens. UNC professor Paul Jones says sharing passwords is never a good idea.
There are all kinds of rationalizations that people use to do this. You could say it's more convenient, but that's difficult.
But Rocco says she thinks so.
I use this computer a lot, and it was a lot more convenient to have it saved than to have to log in every time.
Saving a password is as simple as one click of the mouse. But Jones says this new show of intimacy could be a bad sign for a relationship.
Does a healthy relationship start where there's trust enough that you don't actually have to follow up on what's going on in somebody's stuff, or wondering if they have pictures hidden from you, or wondering if they're still in contact with their former boyfriend or girlfriend?
He believes that passwords are secret for a reason.
Identity that you create on Facebook and your interaction with the world is your identity.
And we've all heard the horror stories about misuse of this trust when relationships go sour. So was Rocco still so trusting after ending her 3-year relationship?
No, I changed mine. I still have his and can still log into his, and have done it before to make sure he's not emailing anybody sketchy, but it's not really a thing that I normally do.
Rocco says she still thinks she'll share passwords in future relationships. In Chapel Hill, I'm Beth Lawrence, Carolina Week.
This isn't just a funny picture, it's a meme. Find out more about the latest online trend to hit UNC, that's next.
Connect with us online by liking the Carolina Week Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
Presidential candidate Mitt Romney's campaign is shining a bright light on Mormonism, the Church of Latter-day Saints. If elected, Romney would be the first Mormon president.
There are more than 14 million Mormons worldwide, but what about right here at UNC? Reporter Angela Farrington has the story.
Senior James Heilpern is part of a minority at UNC, a religious minority. He's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly called the Mormon Church.
Mormon it's a nickname.
In a recent Pew Research Center survey of more than 1,000 Latter-day Saints, 62% felt misunderstood by mainstream Americans.
I think the biggest misconception that people have is not realizing that we're Christian.
Mormons believe in the Bible and Jesus Christ as Savior and Son of God, but they also believe in the Book of Mormon as holy scripture specific to their faith.
Probably the second biggest misconception, I would say, is not realizing that we can have fun.
They do have fun. They're part of UNC's Latter-day Saint Student Association, which Heilpern oversees. They hang out, play foosball, and ping pong. But college life is a little different from the norm. No alcohol, tobacco, illegal drugs, tea, or coffee. And
not be intimate with their significant others until marriage.
But even with observing those rules, there can be problems. Last fall, several Latter-day Saints in drama classes had to see Playmaker Theater's Vibrator play. The problem? The play included full nudity.
Given the fact that Latter-day Saints have made promises to God that they will avoid pornography, this is paramount to forcing a Muslim student to eat a ham sandwich to get an A.
Overall, Heilpern maintains that most Mormon students have a good relationship with the university and with someone else.
The most important relationship that you can have is through Jesus Christ.
He says this belief is most essential to Latter-day Saints. In Chapel Hill, I'm Angela Farrington, Carolina Week.
76 million views make Coney 2012 the fastest spreading viral video ever. Coney 20... Right there you see Coney 2012 is a 30-minute documentary about the conflict in Uganda. The video asks viewers to urge policymakers to take action in finding and capturing rebel leader Joseph Kony, who is accused of kidnapping more than 33,000 children and forcing them to join his rebel forces. You might see a few Coney 2012 posters around campus like these ones next month, as some activists and human rights groups at UNC say they want to get involved in the movement but haven't organized anything at this time.
Also online, have you heard of a meme? Well, if you log onto the internet, you'll see stock photos that people have captioned with clever ideas or phrases unique to a specific area. It's memes like this one from UNC's own page that catch our attention. You won by a buzzer, we won by 18. That's one of my favorites. UNC's page was created by a sophomore in early February. The page has more than 7,000 likes. In order for a meme to stay on the page, it must have more than 15 likes in 24 hours.
And you're always hearing people tell you to start walking more instead of driving, both for health reasons and for the environment. Well, one Raleigh man is trying to make that happen. Health team reporter Whitney Eisenhower tells us how.
In January, UNC graduate student Matt Tomasulo created the Walk Raleigh program. He says he saw a few people on the street, so he thought of a solution.
That idea kind of grew into this simple idea of helping people realize that it really wasn't that far to walk around Raleigh.
So Tomasulo posted 27 signs at 3 intersections in downtown Raleigh to tell people how quickly they could walk to nearby landmarks. But 2 weeks ago, a Raleigh official took the signs down, saying they violated city policies. But in a compromise, the Raleigh City Council agreed Tomasulo could donate the signs to the city to be posted later this month.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
There was such a backlash publicly and online of the signs coming down. You know, people just adamantly against taking them down.
An online petition supporting the signs received more than 1,200 signatures in just 3 days. Tomasulo says this community support helped jumpstart what has turned into a 90-day pilot program to encourage walking in Raleigh. UNC professor Daniel Rodriguez says the grassroots sign campaign shows energized individuals can make a difference.
Walking campaign was a wonderful example of citizen involvement and sort of citizen guerrilla techniques to try to get people to be out there walking more.
People that are walking on the street, the more people that are looking at the storefronts, going in storefronts, eating at restaurants, seeing things that they didn't necessarily see because they were whizzing by at 30 or 40 miles an hour.
Plus, walking has added health benefits of managing body weight, lowering blood pressure, and reducing stress. In Raleigh, I'm Whitney Eisenhower, Carolina Week.
And it's been a great day to get out and walk.
Sure has.
But how long will these sunny days last? Weather's next.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm meteorologist Katherine Thompson. Now, if you're just tuning in and looking for a fast forecast, by 8 o'clock tonight, we'll be down to 70 degrees after a mild, or what I should say, hotter day today of 84 degrees for the high. By 12 o'clock tonight, if you're staying up late, it'll be around 64 degrees, and by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll be up to 55. With mostly sunny skies in the forecast, but of course you can dress in layers because you'll need to take those layers off later in the day. It's going to be another warm one. You can see most of our cloud cover is just to our southwest. We do have some clouds kind of moving into the state right now. These are just puffy cumulus clouds, no precipitation associated with these. And this is all because of a high pressure system that's kind of dominating our region at the moment. But because it's going to get so hot, by tomorrow we will start to see a little bit of precipitation start to form by tomorrow night and tomorrow night into Friday morning, because of all the convection. And what that is with high pressure, with warm air we've been having, that provides lift, and that makes the moisture condensed, and that's why we'll be getting some storms going into the weekend. But again, for tonight though, 53 degrees for the overnight low, milder than we're used to, with mostly clear skies and a calm wind. And by tomorrow, make sure you get the flip-flops and the shorts out because it is going to be quite warm walking on campus. 84 degrees for the high tomorrow, so make sure you are prepared for that. As we all know, the Greensboro Coliseum is hosting the second and third round of the men's NCAA First Division tournament. As you can see, Carolina will be playing at 4:10 p.m. against either Lamar, I confused the names there, Lamar or Vermont University. We'll know the results of that later on today. By 2 o'clock that day, it'll be 76 degrees. Not much change in the temperature from the pregame to the postgame, but it will be raining. So make sure you have your umbrellas and your jackets ready for standing in line at the Greensboro Coliseum. Now, taking a look at our 5-day forecast, you can see that we do have a nice day coming up again tomorrow, another warm one, kind of like a summer day, 84 degrees for the high. Again, precipitation will start to come in on Friday going into Saturday because of the convection. Sunday and Monday will be clearer with 74 degrees for the high.
You know, Catherine, I'm excited about the warm temperatures, but I feel like we're skipping a whole season here.
We are.
What happened to spring?
I know, we seem to skip winter as well because it was springtime then. Now it's summer.
Here we are.
Seems like we're a season ahead.
Anyway, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
March Madness has begun. I know I've filled out my bracket. We'll preview the Heels opening weekend next.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
I've seen and been a part of many comebacks in my career.
To come back and win, you can't lose hope. Take it one play at a time.
Grab every opportunity, and when you can, you make a big play.
There are over 13 million people in the Horn of Africa affected by famine, war, and drought that are counting on us for help.
As a team, we can help end this crisis. Text GIVE to 777-444 to donate $10.
Let's start this comeback together.
The NCAA investigation into the football program has finally come to a close. Good evening, I'm Andy Reeves. But the question is, are the penalties fair? Ohio State players accepted improper benefits and the Buckeyes only lose 9 scholarships. USC hid information from the NCAA and got penalties twice as severe as Carolina's. Reporter Clint Hanna takes a look at how UNC's situation compares to these other penalized programs.
When UNC realized the NCAA was likely to sanction the football program, former and current athletics directors Dick Fedor and Bubba Cunningham looked to schools going through similar problems, like Southern California and Ohio State.
I mean, we certainly looked at all those situations before we self-imposed. We thought we were on target.
Obviously, the committee thought that they needed to do a little bit more, and we're going to live with the sanctions that they gave us.
The NCAA committee banned Carolina from postseason play for this upcoming season, increased the scholarship loss to 15 over 3 years, and added a year of probation to the self-imposed sanctions.
It's certainly within their right, and we knew that was a possibility.
It was a possibility, but should it have been expected? USC received a 2-year bowl ban, lost 30 scholarships over 3 years, and vacated their 2004 national championship. Ohio State received a 1-year bowl ban and lost 9 scholarships over 3 years. Officials at Carolina looked at these schools for comparison points, but those officials wouldn't go any further.
We'll let the sports writers compare the different penalties to each other.
With other schools like Miami set to be sanctioned, these comparisons and the question of what's fair for UNC football might not be decided for a while. In Chapel Hill, I'm Clint Hanna, Carolina Week.
Now, the major difference there is that Ohio State and UNC cooperated with NCAA investigators, and USC deliberately got in the way of their investigation. Well, despite the sanctions, the energy was still very high at UNC's first spring practice of the season. With the quarterback Bryn Renner rocking the green there. I guess he's ready for St. Patrick's Day, looking sharp on that pass, and running back Gio Bernard in mid-season form as he runs through this early drill. New head coach Larry Fedora is getting the Heels ready for the spring game, and that's April 14th at Kenan Stadium. With the football investigation behind us, it's time for everyone's favorite time of year, March Madness. The Heels begin their march to New Orleans down a starter, though. John Henson's left wrist continues to be the focus heading into the Heels' second and third round games in Greensboro this weekend. Henson is going to have some trouble finishing dunks like that and nice lefty moves like this one. We might not see a lot of those. Roy Williams says he hopes Henson can go on Friday, and Kendall Marshall says he's missed his big man.
Selfishly, I missed him because there's 2 or 3 assists a game that are now gone. But you can tell teams weren't so worried about attacking us on the inside, you know, when the defensive player of the year is not sitting in there. And we're looking forward to him coming back.
Well, the Heels might not need Henson for their first round game, but no first seed has ever lost to a 16. But 8-seed Creighton is an enticing third round matchup. The Blue Jays lead the country in field goal percentage, and so having the ACC Defensive Player of the Year there could be crucial. And guys, another interesting aspect to that possible matchup with Creighton, Doug McDermott of Creighton is a high school teammate of Harrison Barnes in Ames, Iowa, so that could be a very interesting matchup for those two guys.
And we're all excited for the tournament. You know, starts Friday. I'll be there cheering, so a lot to look forward to.
I'll be in Greensboro as well. I'll see you there.
All right, Andy, thank you. And as we said, the NCAA is on the brink of March Madness. These tips from students could help you fill your bracket. That story's next.
Have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write to Carolina Week, Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week online at carolinaweek.org.
Bring this one.
I am going with North Carolina. They're an older team, more experienced team. And
President Obama announcing that he has UNC beating Kentucky in the championship in his bracket.
And if you remember, President Obama picked UNC to win it all back in 2009, too. Let's hope he got it right again.
But what about students here on campus? Did their Tar Heel bias change their bracket? Reporter Ross Maloney went to the pit today to find out.
Okay, Nico. So, have you made a bracket this year?
I have not yet made a bracket, but I plan to.
This is the first time I've made an NCAA bracket.
I'm in a random pool from this all-boys high school from my hometown that I had no association with.
I'm just picking teams on whether or not I've heard their name before, which is a surprisingly small number of teams.
I think I got a perfect bracket. It's never been done, but hey, you know, it doesn't mean it can't happen.
My Final Four is UNC, Kentucky, Michigan State, and Florida State.
Kentucky is just really good. I mean, they have Unibrow who just like kills everyone.
Well, you know, I've got some bold ideas. I think Virginia could be in the Final Four.
I want the opportunity to beat Duke in a national championship match.
In my heart, I really, really want to say the Tar Heels are going to go all the way, but my mind knows it's probably going to be UNC Asheville.
I have University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, winning the whole tournament.
Oh, yeah. Oh, immediately I picked us to win.
You know, take chances because, you know, if you play by the rules, you're not going to win anything.
How am I going to celebrate if we win? I'm going to get plastered drunk at all the bars, and I'm going to be the happiest I have ever been.
I don't really like sports other than as an excuse to drink, and so I will drink. I'll also drink whether or not we win.
A lot of opinions there, some crazy students.
There certainly are. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Good night.